Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to work on a necklace with our Bargain Bead Box Violet Glade. So let's turn down and I'll show you what I plan on doing. We're going to be using quite a few of the Dragonfly pendant pieces, and I think we're going to like it. We have our soft flex. This is the amethyst. That's what we're going to use. Here's our pendant, which of course is going to be used as a pendant. Then I have painted all these wonderful dragonfly pieces. And how we're going to do this is 2 of them and the big one here are going to go down this side. And 3 are going to be on this side. And we're going to start this off with 2 of the little teal beads on either side of this pendant piece. Because this is going to be it's going to come in like this, we are going to get a couple of our little, I didn't do it yet, but we are going to do it. We're going to get a few of our little teeny tinies out here, and we're going to let them go underneath our bell. Probably need about, oh, at least 2, maybe 3. Let's see, we have some teeny tinies here. Let's see how big we think we need them to be. 2 will probably do it. So let's get 2 of these out. We have some already out, obviously, but those are for inside our project. So let's just get some soft flex out. And I will start stringing the one side up. We'll start with our teal from this side, so that because that way we know where we're going from. And then we'll get these 2 teeny tinies. And our bail. Now, come on baby, behave. I didn't put my bead stopper on over there, which I always do. And because see how that's going down into the spool there, you can hardly see it. So we put a bead stopper over here so that doesn't do that, and then we can see more of where we're at. So that's going to be like that. We'll have our other teal one over here. And this will be for our front. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to get one of these little bead caps. And one of the jadeites. Well, I think they call them Madagascar jade that's been dyed. Now this is one of those necklaces that's going to go from really big to really tiny, because those teeny tinies are going to come into play later on as we go down the line here. Now look at that. See, the green ones will go all the way through. So that one's going to slide around a little bit there. We'll just have to live with that probably. Unless I decide to make a change. And you know what? I think I will. We're going to pull this stuff off right here. Actually, even the little teeny tinies. Because what we are going to do to keep that from sliding entirely underneath there is we are going to get out some of these rondelles. And another bead cap or 2. And what we're going to do then is we're going to put, there's the 2 bead caps that I need. We're going to put first a bead cap on. Oops, see, now I should have put that on first. Take off the pendant too. Wasn't thinking, was I? Okay, so now we'll put this off. Come on, don't be twisting our wire up. Just go on down there. Now we'll get 2 of the same color. These are all different colors, so we got to make sure we get the same color. Those are not quite the same color, but they're close. Okay, these 2 are the same color here. So we'll put those 2 on with our bead cap. And then we're going to put on our little teeny tinies. So here's our teeny tinies that we took back off. Come on, where's your little hole? There we go. Now we'll put our pendant back on. And now we'll put this one on and our new bead cap we got, and then our green one. And that will keep our pendant from sliding over our green ones there. So there we go. Now we want our Madagascar jade here. And then our big amethyst. And back to our Madagascar jade. Gotta find the right one here. There we go. Oh, I just dropped something on the floor, and I'm not sure what it was. Well, whatever we run out of, then we'll have to get. So now we want a small spacer. And we're going to start building. We're going to put 3 teeny tinies on right now. 1. 2 and 3. Then a tiny small spacer again. Now we're going to put the little teal rice bead on here. Then we're going to put one of our dragonflies here. And then our flourite, which there's one right there. See how we made a little dragonfly out of this by adding the flourite and the teal here? Now tiny spacer, and we'll go back to our teeny tinies. 3 more of those. So we're putting on 3 teeny tinies now. 1. 'Come on, baby. 2 and 3. Now that we have those 3 on, we'll put on one of the small spacers, and then we're going to go and repeat this pattern here. So we have the spacer, the Madagascar jade. There's your hole. spacer. The big amethyst. Come on, baby, where's your hole? There we go. And this spacer again. Next, we're going to go back to the tinies. So we'll need the little spacer. And then we'll have 3 tinies. Come on, baby, go on. There we go. We'll go to that little spacer again. Now we're going to have a slight change here because we are going to put 2 teal beads in here with a space, one of the little spacers between. Now, in case you're wondering, these little spacers are out of my stash. And then here's what we're going to do different from the other side, and that is we're going to put in this dragonfly right here. Oops, sorry for bumping the camera there. And then we will put in another of the little spacers and the 3 tinies. Come on, tiny. 1, 2, and 3. And then we go back to another little spacer. Now our next move is to go back and do our jade. Then we have the amethyst, the bead cap, and the other jade. So we'll put these over here because those are going to be that side, as is one of these, obviously. And we'll put some of our other beads that we know are going to the other side over there. So now that we've got this jade amethyst pattern done, we're going to back to the little and then the 3 tinies. One, 2, and 3, and our tiny spacer. Now the next thing we're going to do is build one of these dragonflies again. So the teal, the dragonfly, and the flourite. If I can find its hole, there we go. And then the little spacer again. So there we go so far. The other flourites go over here because they go with those dragonflies. Now we want our 3 tinies again. And our small spacer. So next we put on a bead cap, the jade, oh come on, where's your hole, baby? There we go. Bead cap, 2 rondelles, small spacer, 3 more tinies, come on baby, let's get the 3rd tiny on here. There we go, 3rd tiny, another small spacer, and 2 more rondelles. Looks like I have an extra rondelle here. That's fine. Maybe I didn't put 4 over here. No, I didn't. So one of these goes over here. And that's what we have for our side over here. So let's put a bead stopper down here. Roll this baby over here. Bring our bead stopper up. And here's our one side. Shall we measure that? See how long it ends up being? Not sure if I'm going to put some, how I'm going to finish this if I decide to make it longer. Oh, it's going to be 20 inches because that's 10 inches right there. So let's start, get our wire cut and start the other side. We want the same amount for the other side here. So let's get her up here. And we'll cut her right about here. So there we go. There's our wire cut. And now we're going to take this side off and go up this side, more or less the same as the side we already have done, except instead of putting this little dragonfly here on this side, we're going to just have another one like this. So let's just go, let's get going on this with the bead cap, the jade, bead cap, amethyst, and now here we go with the next dragonfly. So the green, the dragonfly, the flourite, and the tiny spacer, and then the 3 tinies. 1, 2, 3, and the small spacer. Now for our next bunch of jade and amethyst. Little spacer. Though it could have been a spacer that fell. We're missing one of those too, it looks like. This is the one that was clogged, so I always keep my awl here so I can punch through it. And one tiny here. We're going to have to get 2 more tinies and another spacer, unless I have a spacer or tiny. Okay, so I got the 2 more tinies we needed, and I got 3 spacers instead of just 1, because I'm thinking I'll put one on either side of these rondelles, and we'll decide if we want to make it any longer, because if I'm going to make it longer, I'm going to want to either add some of the tinies, or I will want to add some more rondelles. So if I have the spacer there, then that decision is easy, because it's either going to be put onto those or put on some of the one kind or some of the other kind. So let's put that spacer on the other side here. And we'll close her up and decide if this is where we want to end or if we want to add a couple more rondelles and tinies. So there's what it looks like at the present moment. Get our ruler out and measure her up. And she is 20 inches exactly. Now, if we want it to be a little longer than that, like 22, we need to get another inch of stuff up here. And I'm going to have to decide if that's what I want to do or not. I have decided I want to add a little more to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to add We're going to add 3 more tinies and then a spacer and then a couple more rondelles. And that is where we're going to go with this. And after that, that should add an inch or 2, well, probably close to 2 inches. And I think then it's going to be long enough to satisfy me here. So let's get out 6 more baby tinies. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't need 9. And we'll put those on, and then we will get some rondelles out. 1, 2, 'Little teeny tinies are being a little stubborn here. And then 2 more rondelles. Okay, there's those 2. So we got out 4 rondelles, all about the same color. I'd put the other colors back because we want them to be about the same. I don't want a lot of different colors going on in here. So there's our additional bit on this side. And now we'll do the same on this side by adding the 3 tinies. The spacer. And the 2 rondelles. So there we are. Let's see how long it ends up being now. Now she's going to be about 22. If we wanted to be longer yet, I could do again the rondelle, Tiny's rondelle spacer, but I don't know that I want that. In sizing, maybe I do want that, so I'm going to get some more pieces out. So we're going to get some more spacers, some more rondelles, now I want this same color I've been using, if at all possible, so we'll just dump some out and get the ones I need, like these two and these two. Let's see, I'm not sure if I want a full another set. Well, we'll see how it goes. There's another one like that. Okay, so these are our rondelles we're going to use. So let's put the rest back in the baggie. And we'll get out the tinies. And we will just work from here and see what we end up with. So the first thing we want to do, of course, is to put on our little spacer. And then our 3 tinies. 1, 2. Oh, 2 came off. Okay, so 2. Come on, baby. And 3. Now our spacer. And our 2 rondelles. Let's see how long that is so that we know if that's where we want to quit. I want about 24 inches. So if this is 12 inches, then we're good. So, oh, it's right there. Perfect. So that's what we want. So now we just need to do that on the other side as well. Add the 3 tinies and the spacers and the 2 rondelles. And then we can put the rest of the beads away. But 1, 2, come on you. There we go. 3, our spacer, and our 2 rondelles. Now let's clip this off and see if everything's kosher from side to side here. These are those good. That's good. That's good. This one, of course, is different. So that's good. There, there. Looks like we're good up the line, so let's put these other little beads away that we're not going to use. And then we will get working on putting on our clasp, and then it'll be done. So I don't have a clasp out here yet, but I do have 2 crimp tubes and 2 jump rings, and that's what we can start with because we don't really we're going to hook our clasp to our jump rings, so that's fine. So we'll just put our jump ring on, put her through the crimp tube and then back through the 2 rondelles and pull her up about where we want it to be, and then we're going to crimp it. Now I use the magical crimpers. It's got a divot in the middle. You want your crimp tube, you want to use a 2x2 crimp tube right in the middle of that divot, and then squish. And then turn it and squish again. And you want to keep turning and squishing until it won't squish anymore and it's formed into this little ball. There we go, see, like that. Now we'll just roll these things up here, cut this excess wire off right here, and then we will roll the rest of this around so that it comes over there. We're not loose. See, there's a big loose spot right there. We got to get that up there. Again, we're going to make sure that we're not loose anymore, and then we will put the second crimp on. It still feels a little loose. There we go. See, there's that little bag in there. Now you don't want it super tight, because then it's going to be really too tight, but right now we're gonna work pretty good. So like I say, make sure we got it all the way rolled down so that we don't have a big gap. If we do, it's all right. We can put a crimp cover on it to hold some of that, pull some of that gap in, but I'd rather not have a whole bunch of gap if I can help it. So now we let it drop down into like here, twisted, so that you don't have to worry about it being really super tight. Because if it's super tight when you're finished with this, it's not going to hang very well. So, oh, come on, baby. There we go, through there. I know perfectly well it's not going to go through the teeny tinies, so just get it tightened to here. Now we'll check our tightness. Still a little bit loose here. We want those down there as much as possible. Now we'll pull this up tighter. And now we're going to crimp. So now that we've got this all put together and the crimps all put on, I have decided to use a magnetic clasp as its closure. So I'm just going to get to these jump rings open here. Come on, stop it. We're going to put the magnetic clasp on either side. So we'll slide this side on, close it back up. Now the clasp is being difficult because it's a magnetic clasp. It wants to hold on to the pliers. So we just have to convince it to let us do our thing. And make sure our jump ring is closed all the way. And then switch over to the other side. open its jump ring up. Slide her down and close her up. Make sure she's closed. That one looks pretty good. No, it looks like it might be over just a hair's breadth. There we go. So now our necklace is finished. Pretty symmetrical, all except for this little difference right here, and I think that really makes it. As you can see, I painted my dragonfly pieces. And there is our necklace using our Violet Glade from Bargain Bead Box. Isn't that pretty? So there we go. There is our pretty dragonfly necklace using our Bargain Bead Box Violet Glade. Isn't that pretty? Now this little dragonfly wants to flip around some, but I think he'll be fine once it's sitting against you because, you know, obviously it will lay flat then. So I really think it turned out pretty. I like it. I hope you guys like it too. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we have been using our Bargain Bead Box Violet Glade. I had fun with this one. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.